Keel guests heard via the Jack Spring Electric Keel Newsmaker hotline. Michael Corbin, SWEPCO, back once again. Mike, I don't think we had you on. Did we have you on last week at all?
I think the first part of it.
Maybe Monday or so. Holy cow, I apologize. So, okay, SWEPCO, power outages. Well, let's start with this part of the state. Shreveport, Bossier, sort of what you call the northern region, even into East Texas. Is everybody back 100%? Are there still any sort of electricity outliers?
We are good to go from storm outages in the Shreveport area and East Texas. Crews are still out doing a little cleanup work and things like that, but we're all back to normal up here.
How's about down south? I know you said, am I thinking of the SWEPCO district, yours that you talked about, or am I thinking seriously about the Mike Johnson congressional district all the way down to DeRidder? You go that far south, don't you?
We do kind of mirror that congressional district. If you go down to the Natchitoches area, although the city of Natchitoches has been restored, there are about 200 outages in outlying areas from Natchitoches, mostly to the south. And in that area, if anybody's listening today, if you still do not have power, but you hear this, we're asking that you call SWEPCO again and report your outage once again to be sure that we know, because we're down to very scattered outages, and we want to be sure we can take care of those folks.
So basically, just to repeat what you just said, well, you repeated. If your power is still out, if you're south of here and your power is still out, repeat what you said.
Please call SWEPCO and report that outage. We want to be sure that we know about it and that we can send crews directly to your outage.
I would imagine, I think this is a given, that the farther south you go, the worse the damage gets. We had talked about it a little bit the last time we talked, and I was wondering just the added manpower, the hours, the equipment, the fuel, the trucks, the food, the fill in the blank. Is there any sense of a price tag just from your guys' side of it yet?
Well, not yet, but we know it's pretty major, because when you have to house, feed, bathe, supply, fuel 3,000 extra workers and mobilize them across such a wide region, those costs begin to add up. You know, we still, in the Hornbeck area, we still have about 2,200 outages. We think that those will be cleared up by end of business today. But it's just been massive. It's unbelievable. These guys are working guys and ladies are working 16 plus hour days in tough conditions. And what you said earlier, it's huge. The further south you go, when you hit Natchitoches and you start going further south, that really was a Category 2 hurricane, and the tree damage is just something to see. And when you really think that a little over a week ago, almost 195,000 people were without power in our service area alone in Louisiana, and now we're down to under 2,500. That's a huge achievement. And the other areas of the state, the further south you go to in the Lake Charles area, those folks will probably be another 2-3 weeks before they even begin to see power restored.
A friend of mine over the weekend asked me an interesting question. You can kind of clear this up about when it comes to the cleanup, what SWEPCO does do, what they don't do, what you guys are responsible for, what somebody else has to come in and do before you can do the work. Are you getting a lot of calls on that? Can you clear that up for us too, please?
Yeah, that is a bit of confusion for folks. When we do annual tree trimming, which is always controversial in neighborhoods, our crews go in, trim the trees, they remove all the debris, chip it up and make mulch and haul it away. When we're doing storm restoration, it's a little different. If we have to cut limbs, we have to drop trees, we're doing that to repair our infrastructure. But those are the customer's trees, often in their yard, and we're not going to clean that up. It's the customer's responsibility to remove that.
So a lot of folks are yelling at you because there's stuff you just don't put your hands on. Is that sort of it?
That's about the best way to say it.
Yeah. Did you ever get a final number, by the way, because you were talking about all the guys that were working up here to restore power, and most of them moved down south to work. How many are down there? Did like there were about 3,000 here? Did they all move back down south? Like the Canadian guys or the ones from Nebraska and all these other places? Are they all down Lake Charles, et cetera, still working?
We have moved all of the crews that we have. We moved further south. We had a base camp at Northwestern, and that began to dismantle yesterday. So our only remaining base camp now is in the Leesville area, and so we have reassigned resources further south as the work has completed. And I would expect that many of those resources will leave SWEPCO and go to work for Entergy or the other utilities down closer to the Lake Charles area.
Well, I think it was the day before, maybe Friday when Aaron left. Maybe it was Thursday, which was like 1 week. And I said, doesn't it seem the day Laura came through? It seems like about a month or 6 weeks or 2 months ago, and it's really just barely a week, isn't it? That's unbelievable, huh?
It really is. And I think there's so much that's going on that it seems like it was much longer ago. But, it's unprecedented event. I'll be back down in Natchitoches area tomorrow with some other SWEPCO folks and folks from our home office in Columbus, Ohio, and view the damage, talk to stakeholders down there, and just see what went right, what went wrong, and how we can make improvements.